And I think the best of the best, their work ethic never leaves. You know, I'll use two guys. We've got Tyrese here, right, with the Sixers, and Dame with the Blazers. Both those guys train like they're trying to get drafted still.
You were with the Trailblazers during the whole peanut butter and jelly conversation.
Oh, that's so good.
Where do you stand on that subject?
So I actually did the ESPN article. To this day,
Really?
Charlotte's, the butter that they laid on that thing was so good.
You know what time it is. 3, 2, 1. Before we get into the episode, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Rhone. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't look nearly as good as I do in the Rooftop cold plunge. Hats, swimwear, all the activewear you would ever need. Go to the link in the description, use code RCP at checkout, and get yourself something today. We are back for another episode of the Rooftop Cold Plunge. Today's guest is Ben Kenyon, who has a super inspiring story. We talk about his early hustle, the mentors that shaped him, and what it takes to truly lead on the court, in business, and in life. Let's go. Ben Kenyon.
Come on, baby.
What up, brother?
Chillin', man.
Thanks for being here.
Hell yeah, thanks for having me.
It was a long time coming.
We did it finally.
I mean, we first got connected about 3 months ago, and we're both busy guys, but
Happens.
we made it happen.
We out here in the world dominating. Come on.
That's right. So we're gonna ask a couple questions outside the plunge. You guys know the deal, and then we will get in the plunge and see how long he can handle the cold.
Come on.
Let's start off with your journey.
Yeah.
You've had one of the more impressive journeys that we've had on the Rooftop Cold Plunge, from sleeping on the ground to training elite NBA athletes.
Yeah, man.
Just quickly talk about how you got here today.
Yeah, man. So recently director of performance for the Sixers.
Yep.
I was blessed to work with Joel during his MVP year, helped Tyrese be Tyrese, and put those guys in positions to continue to be available for what they do right now, right? And my goal when I first started as an intern, sleeping on the floor, was just to be the best performance coach I can possibly be.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? If I'm aiming to be the best, I know it's going to put me around the best at one point.
Yeah.
And so over my years, I worked at George Washington University. I was an assistant athletic director there for about 5 years. Then I got my first NBA job with Portland Trailblazers. University of Florida when I was an intern, sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
I was blessed to work with Billy Donovan, who actually helped me get my first NBA job, which was super cool.
That's
and
awesome.
Then ended up going from Portland, Oregon to here. Back in Portland, I got to work with Dame, work with CJ. We won a whole lot. There were just a lot of cool things that have happened. And I think it always goes back to, like, I've always wanted to be the best at what I did, because I knew it would put me around, the best of the best. And it actually did. So here we are.
That's awesome. So you talk a lot about purpose, both in your book, on your social media, and in your message to athletes.
Yeah.
When did you realize that your purpose was to help others perform and grow?
Yeah, so super early.
Yeah.
Like when I was 13 years old, I knew I was either going to coach or play professional basketball.
Cool.
Right? I was blessed to grow up with some really, really good basketball players. My high school, we were like top 5 in the country. A guy named Luol Deng, Charlie Villanueva. I got to see NBA players like before they were NBA players.
Yeah.
And that kind of put me in the space to say, all right, I don't know if I'm that good.
Yeah.
But I love this other plan of like wanting to still be around the sport, wanting to still help people be great.
Yeah.
And so again, at 13 years old, I freaking did what every 13-year-old did. I dove all the way in with basketball, got the basketball scholarship to Adelphi, played D2.
Yeah.
And then my sophomore year, I realized like, oh shoot, here's an opportunity to now transition. And so I made that transition into strength and conditioning. I was passionate about it, excited about it. And I just think that it's important to like chase the bigger picture. So I said it before, like, I want to be the best I can possibly be.
Yeah.
Right? I don't necessarily want to be better than you. I want to make sure I chase my purpose. What does that really look like when it comes to performance, right? And impacting others. And understanding that, it's going to help me land where I need to land, right? Where I'm going to actually best serve people. And I'll say over the last 20 years or the last 11 years especially, it put me around, the best athletes in the world working in the NBA.
That's so cool.
Heck yeah.
I love it. So give us a little nugget here. What's one thing that you did early on in your career that felt kind of crazy, but ended up working out for you?
Sleeping on the dang floor.
Yeah, that's how I figured you were going there.
It was wild.
Yeah.
That was a wild journey, man. I'll say when my mom and dad gave me $2,500, and they were like, and this is when I lived in Hillside, New Jersey, stand up. I get in my 98 Explorer, pack my car, and I drive straight down to Gainesville, Florida, right? And $2,500 is all I got.
Damn.
And so I find like a super inexpensive, super cheap apartment. My mom ended up actually helping me pay the rent for it.
Yeah.
That was right on Gainesville's campus. And I didn't have a bed for the first 9 months.
Yeah.
I slept on an air mattress that popped, I'm going to say within the first month and a half.
Oh, that's so painful.
It was crazy. And then, unfortunately, may you rest in peace, my father and my grandfather passed away within the first 2 months of me being there.
Damn.
And so I swear to you, in my head, I was like, dude, this ain't it.
No.
Can't be it. Like, who goes through this? But, one thing my mom kept telling me was like, your dad wouldn't want you to quit. Your grandfather especially wouldn't want you to quit. This man was blind, and he figured out how to hustle to get 40 acres of land blind. So I'm like, all right, let me troop it out, right? I had to go back home, handle what I need to handle, went back down there, and just like poured into everything. And I think the insane part was that I kept seeing or having vision of the future.
Yeah.
And I kept seeing it super clear, but I knew I had to kind of go through those moments. So those moments definitely shaped me, helped me write the book that I can now share with other people to just say, hey, like, you can do it too, especially because I think people don't realize, like, life's going to come at you at one point.
Yeah.
And my whole mission is just to say, like, be ready for it.
Yeah.
Right? Be prepared, because you don't have to let that sink your whole mission, your whole vision. It's just like, if you can utilize that friction moment as fuel to kind of help you get to the next space, it'll only put you in a way better position to like really like thrive.
That's great.
Heck yeah.
So first of all, you don't get through that journey alone, right? Mm-hmm. Is there one key mentor or person that kind of stuck with you throughout it all, that really kind of resonated with you throughout the journey?
Yeah. So first, God is my homie. That's
Yeah.
the one person that I've always been with, my entire life. And I know he's got my back. But then there's a couple. My mom, she's just a ride or die human, and she's always had my back. Again, like I said, she paid my rent, which wasn't a whole bunch, but like she literally was like, yo, you're down there on a mission.
Yeah.
And then I tapped into some community around there as well. They saw that I was out here trying to get it done. They were like, dude, stay at my spot. Here's some food, like whatever you need. Like, this is crazy that you're doing this.
Yeah.
And so, but back to the mentors. John Thornton is a guy that I grew up with as a basketball coach, and he kind of mentored me, all the way through high school. And then when I finally made it to the pros, Dr. William Johnson, he's the president of Moda Healthcare out there in Portland, Oregon, and he mentored me as well. And so I'll say those two men right there really helped me understand how to like navigate the highs and lows.
So your transition from the MBA to entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
what has been the mindset shift for you there, going from that world to entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so it actually hasn't been too much of a mindset shift, because the way the NBA is set up, people don't see it because you just watch the game, right?
Yeah.
There's 82 regular season games. Mm-hmm. If you make the playoffs, typically around 100 games that you play in a year. If you make it to the championship, it's like 110.
Yeah.
You're traveling to at least 30 cities,
Are you traveling with the team?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So let's just say in 30 days, you might travel for 15, max 21 of those days in a month.
Okay.
Right. So there's a lot of highs and there's a lot of lows.
Sure.
Right. So going now to entrepreneurship.
Yep.
There's a lot of highs and there's a lot of lows.
Sure
right?
are.
So emotionally,
Yeah.
I've been trained to kind of step into that space and just understand that like there's going to be dense moments of opportunities to speak, opportunities to coach, do the executive coaching, work with companies. And then there's going to be moments like there's going to be a little bit of a lull. Mm-hmm. And so what I've tried to do is I find routines for both of those periods. And I literally just flip the switch to that routine. So when there's a lull, it's like, sweet, boom, boom, I do these 3 to 4 things. This is what I do in the lull. All right, when it's a turned up moment, here are the 3 to 4 things that I try to execute. When it's a little more chaotic and busy.
Yeah. When I'm traveling, so I'm in the startup world now, entrepreneur world. When I'm traveling,
it's so much harder for me to get back into the routine and get back. The lull just seems like it takes a little bit longer to get out of when I'm traveling versus when I'm home. And I know I have, you know, my morning schedule, you know, I can hit everything I need to do to make my mind right. So I think, you know, you said it, like when you know, that NBA schedule is definitely a grind, and like you have to find ways to you know, get out of those lulls as quick as possible.
Well, so what I talk about now is how to navigate either through burnout or navigate around it. Okay. Right. And so what I think about when you said, you know, when you get back home, people can get tripped up, right, when they get back off the road and take damn near 2 weeks to put themselves right back on track.
100%.
But I love these small little hits. Cold plunge, sauna, go for a long run, go get a sweat, go do a workout class or something. Like, these are things that help you really get jump started. Meditate, right? Go out of your way to do things that I know for a fact have high impact, so that you can get back on track very quick. And so it goes back to that routine setup. Is it's like, what's your winning routine? Like, you know for a fact you're gonna feel great after you do this. And again, it might be calling a funny friend, right? Call them up real quick, knowing that they're gonna get you to laugh a little bit, jumping in the cold plunge, right? Eating your favorite meal, going to a place that you know for a fact is gonna put you in a good spot. So again, it's about high performing folks that really want to like get it done, which it seems like you want to get it done. It's like you really have to hold true to that routine, that system, because if you don't, typically, that's when burnout happens. That's when you kind of start to unravel. And I don't think it's necessary, especially if you've proven to yourself that as long as I do these things, I'm gonna be good.
Agreed. 2 more questions, then we'll get in. So how would you describe your leadership style and what differentiates that from the pack?
Yeah, so I would say it's, especially over the last 20 being in performance, leading by example, right? So making sure I'm living and leading a healthy lifestyle, and not necessarily trying to be perfect. It's just more of like, am I practicing the things that I'm preaching? If I'm telling you to get in the cold plunge, am I getting in the cold plunge myself, right? If I'm telling you that I'm doing meditation, yoga, trying to sign up for these events to really get myself in tip-top shape. I want to make sure that you can see that. Right? I always tell young strength coaches, folks that are out there trying to just grow in general, you need to look the part, right? You want to be a CEO of a really, really awesome company, look the part. If you look sloppy walking in, just FYI, like a lot of CEOs, I'm saying majority of them, don't look too sloppy, right? And again, I get there's certain places, certain times for that. And then how do I separate myself? Honestly, I try to just focus on me. So I'm going to go back to 13-year-old self. How can I be the best version of myself? And authentically lean into that. And I don't necessarily think about other people, right? So if it does separate me, which it has, right? I don't know too many people I've actually trained in MVP, trained Hall of Famers, and helped guys be in positions to make billions of dollars. I just always go back to just being authentic. So maybe that's the answer, is just be super authentic to myself and allow my journey to be what it is.
You've spent 10 years training top athletes. How important is cold plunge to recovery?
Ooh, it's a good question. It's a great question. Your best one yet.
Thank you.
Best one yet.
That's teeing us up.
Tee us up. So cold plunge, there's a couple of different ways that I look at it. So it's great for acute recovery, for immediate recovery. Right? So when I think about the NBA, cold plunging after one game because you got a game the next day, back-to-backs coming up, and then you're about to hit the road, game changer, right? You spend maybe 5-10 minutes in the cold plunge, 20 minutes max. I think the science says, like, honestly, no more than like 5 or 10. But people spend more time in it. It's great for acute recovery. Summertime or off season, I don't love it unless you have gone through like the hardest session that you've ever gone through. You do not want to feel extremely sore the next day. Purely because you need to have your body go through that process of re-healing itself and rebuilding itself. And I know cold plunge stunts that, right? You'll still get the benefits of growth, but it will really stunt the process of you kind of rebuilding the body, rebuilding the muscle. And so a lot of the times when it comes to basketball players specifically,
basketball players,
in season is a perfect time. Cold plunge, hot tub, sauna, red light.
Yep.
Like those things that allow you to actually recover pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Game changer, because you got to go out and play the next day.
Yeah.
Or you might have 7 games in 13 days in, 5 different cities.
Yeah.
So again, it's just making sure that you figure out how to recover. But I love it, and I think it's a game changer.
You ready to rock?
Come on.
Let's do it. You know it better than anybody. The first 30 seconds are the most painful.
I'm all in for it. Here we go.
Let's go.
Woo! How many questions we doing here, though?
We're going to rip probably 7, 8 quick hitters. Woo!
Come on. Woo. Here we go.
How's that? Not bad?
We here. We present.
Okay, let's rip.
Come on.
You first started in the NBA with the Blazers in 2011.
Yeah.
What was your welcome to the NBA moment?
Welcome to the NBA moment was when Wes Matthews, after one shoot around, what we would do at the end of practice is we would help the equipment guy pick up all the shoes, because the guys would just kind of leave them by wherever they were sitting down, where they changed.
Yep.
And so Wes one day decides to go, "Hey, Ben, you go get my shoes today." And I was like, all right, cool. And I think we're actually in Houston. Picks them up and throws them all the way up until like the 50th row, because Wes is
just to be an asshole,
just to be that guy. And so that was my rookie moment. That was my welcome to the NBA moment. And again, this guy took me out for my birthday, paid for everything. I went to the best restaurants in Portland. So amazing human being, but he had some fun. Just
a little tough love.
Yep.
Who of all the people that you worked with had the embodiment of the greatest leader?
Oof, that's such a tough question. I've got to go with my guy Dame Dollar, just because who he was as a leader on the basketball court, a leader of an organization, leader of a city, for his family, and being able to see the growth, right? I think I started working there in his 2nd season, so that's coming off of his Rookie of the Year moment. There was a lot of vets still there, but to see him go from being like the guy that was going to be the future to like he's now the guy in the future, and then being able to like keep everybody in a really sweet space, have a connection with not only the players, but people in the weight room, the athletic training room, the front office, was really, really powerful. And then still be able to impact people in the city, right? And do what he's still doing to this day, is really, really cool. But there's a whole bunch of other guys that I would definitely put on that list. But he was the first person that I connected with. And I'll say him and CJ both did amazing jobs as his leaders of that team.
You were with the Trailblazers during the whole peanut butter and jelly conversation.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
Where do you stand on that subject?
So I actually did the ESPN article, and I was talking about the importance of it, right? So quick science behind it. The peanut butter and jelly is just a high glycemic food that gets into your bloodstream very quickly.
Yep.
So if you eat it right before a game, you're going to have energy to use, let's just say 30 to 60 minutes prior to a game, which is very, very important. But where it kind of started to turn up was we would get these things like toasted, right? And in certain cities, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like you felt like your mom or your auntie was in the back hooking them up.
Yeah.
I'll say Charlotte, to this day,
really,
Charlotte's peanut butter and jelly. I used to do almond butter just because peanut butter was a thing for me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you ingredients.
No. Peanut butter or almond and jelly or peanut butter and jelly. Hear me. The butter that they laid on that thing was so good. So from a scientific standpoint, from an objective standpoint, it was perfect for the guys. For the people outside of playing basketball, it wasn't the greatest thing because you had an extra few pounds to now run off the next day when you hit the next city. Just because they were so good. But I'll say Charlotte was the best. Portland did a great job because that was the home team for sure.
Yeah.
But there were some teams out there that definitely needed to figure out, who was making those things in the back and maybe change up a chef or two.
That's so good. What's one thing that holds people back from reaching their full potential?
Dang. You got some great hitters right here.
Hey, listen, that's what we do in the Rooftop Cold Plunge.
Yeah, man. I think what holds a lot of people back is, sometimes they don't take the step and go execute. Just go out there and get it done and don't be afraid of, failure.
Yeah.
And then also they don't prepare enough.
Yeah.
And typically you're afraid to fail when you're not preparing enough.
Exactly.
Right? So go prepare, over prepare, and then realize like when you get blessed with an opportunity, right? We talked about it earlier when I was an intern sleeping on the floor. I actually had certifications and I went through this whole process, and then fast forward, I get to actually help train an MVP during the MVP season. So here's
sweet.
your cool opportunity
Yeah.
to now say everything that you've done up until now was worth this one moment.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome. And
Thank
you were
you.
prepared for it.
There you go. Better execute.
If someone wanted to start improving themselves today, what's the first step that they should
First
take?
step. Get extremely clear on what matters most in this season of life. So what are your core values? Write the core values down. Figure out what's most important to you. Write them down on a mirror, on a Post-it, put it in your car, put it on your phone. I've got like a little mantra that I keep on my lock screen. And I just like focus and get dialed in on that. And then I'll even say, get the community of people around you that actually align with those values, right? Get people, if you're trying to be healthier and do more cold plunges, get people that do interviews and freaking cold plunges.
Makes it so much easier.
Well, because they get it.
Yeah.
Right. And so when they invite you over, you're going over to a cold plunge and some other stuff that might actually help you be better versus somebody that completely hates health, somebody that just does not enjoy the things that are most important to you in life right now.
What's something that no one tells you about chasing big goals?
Oh, don't be distracted by the shiny objects along the way. There's a lot of shiny objects that will distract you from the overall goal that you had from the beginning, right? So I always bring myself back to sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
Because it humbles me and reminds me like, yo, man, this is where you started. Again, traveled and seen a lot of cool things, but it never stopped me from being excited about doing the work. Like, I love working with not just the best athletes, but working with people in general and helping them actually get to their goals. And so if I'm so consumed by all the shiny, cool things that I get along the way,
Yeah.
That's more than likely going to start to chip away at the passion, start to chip away at the actual work ethic. And I think the best of the best, their work ethic never leaves. You know, I'll use two guys. We've got Tyrese here, right, with the Sixers, and Dame with the Blazers. Both those guys train like they're trying to get drafted still, which is really, really cool, right? Like, people don't do that, especially these days when these younger folks are getting paid, they're getting blessed, but they're getting blessed with like NIL money very early in life, right? And so thinking about that and looking at that, saying like, man, you're a millionaire as a freshman, like that motivation, right, is gonna be tough to kind of keep up. But I'm gonna find out if you really love basketball, right? I'm gonna find out if you really want to be the best, because you won't survive in the NBA if you really don't love basketball.
Yeah.
So again, I just think understanding what the distractions are for you, understanding when you're in your moment and how you need to kind of double down and maybe even put a plan together and just try to stick to, or try to be a little more disciplined, just because once you get to that mountaintop, you're officially the target, right? For that next group of people that want what you got.
Yeah.
And to sustain it, to not only just get it that one time, but to sustain it over a long period of time, it's going to take some strategy, some focus, some clarity, and a little bit of discipline, you know?
Yeah, it's very cool. I end on one question, but I want to ask you, just because we're in Philly, the NBA draft was here, I just want to ask a question about Tyrese.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tyrese has, you know, all the physical tools, and he's so talented on the court. What mentally separates him from everybody else? Because he didn't come in as the super highly talented lottery pick, but he has become a perennial all-star in this league.
Yeah, he's a dog about his process. He knows how great he is. He's very, what is it? It's not quiet confidence, but his confidence. It's respectful confidence, I'll say, right? Because he understands his process and he improves it incrementally. I'll say from year one till now, his recovery has definitely gotten better. His focus on the small things that can allow his body to show up every night has gotten better. But that's because he's pursued those things. He's just like, all right, I've got the stuff on the court down, right? I've got the stuff even in the weight room down. What else can I improve in? If you're an expert and you're around him, he's like, coach me up, Why? Because you're the expert in that thing, regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that separates him from a lot of other stars out there in the NBA, and it's going to allow him to have a really long journey in the NBA because, again, if you're always looking to grow, and again, it's not always pushing and going harder, sometimes it's just learning how to work smarter, right? And being open to suggestions, ideas from other experts, other elite humans around you.
Yeah.
That's only going to separate you a crazy amount, over a longer period of time.
That's awesome. I hope we keep them forever. How are you feeling, by the way?
My feet are like, I don't even know if they're there. They might float to the tops.
I was going to give you some toe socks, but
No. We're here.
You're a professional.
Come on. We're here.
Final question.
Yeah.
What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Ooh, best piece of advice I've ever received.
I love asking this question. Such cool answers usually. No pressure.
No, this is it. It's trust God. Trust God and do the work. They always say trust God, so have the faith, but do the work. And that's something that I will hold near and dear to my heart because I've seen what the work can actually help me do, help people around me do.
Yeah.
But there's times for sure that I don't feel like a superhero and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do this right now.
Yeah.
And then when I go do it, some amazing thing comes from it. I'm like, dang, dude, you were just over here challenging me. And that's the trust. That's you understanding that this next move might be a move that changes your life forever. And again, I've seen so many great moments because people decided just to put their head down and get to work.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome interview. Appreciate you coming through. But you know what time it is.
Ooh, let me take this off
it's
real
dunk
quick.
time.
Let me take this off real quick.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Woo!
Oh my God.
Let's go. Good work.
Woo!
Come on.
Bang. Thank you guys for tuning into the new season of the Rooftop Cold Plunge. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to bring you more incredible guests. See you next week.